Welcome, my friends, to another interview from Jose Camano, Cuentame, USA. This is my last interview in English. Well, English, you know what I'm trying to say. For some time. I'm gonna go on vacation soon, and my next interviews are gonna be in Spanish. The next three or four. So this is the last one for now. Today, I'm gonna be speaking with. I'm gonna be speaking with Nico Stackenbach. I don't know how to say it.
It's
Stackenbach.
in German, it is Steckelberg.
Steckelbach.
Sounds almost like the Schmetterling. Yeah.
You see, I have to learn German. I don't know. Nico Steckelbach.
Yes.
He's a musician, keyboard player, composer, singer from Germany, and he represents his project Two Words in Japanese. And he's also a member of the fantasy folk,
Mhm.
electronic band,
Mhm.
Elaine, uh, which, oh, I don't know, maybe 24 or 25 years they've been around. I have no idea.
Yeah. 20,
More or less,
22, yeah, 24.
24.
Mhm.
So we got Nico online, and I have to thank him for his presence on my channel today. How you doing, Nico?
I'm fine. Thank you for the invitation. I'm very pleased to be here and to meet you, Jose.
Thank you so much, Nico. Uh, I tell you the truth, I don't have any talented friends yet. Maybe he'll be my first one.
Talented friend?
I don't have any talented friends. Uh,
What?
uh, so, Nico, I came across your music thanks to Bianca Stucker
Mhm.
and your collaboration with her. It was a wonderful surprise for me to know about your music and to find many things about your musical career. So, I've been discovering your work with Elaine
Mhm.
all these years. You guys have great quality, I guess, of
Thank you.
material.
Thank
It's
you.
been very much rewarding to listen to all your records. And I love the band, you know? It's a great band, Elaine. Really enjoyed it.
Thank
So,
you. That's great.
we're gonna talk a little bit about that, but also
Yeah, sure.
especially your solo project, which
Mhm.
it was big surprise to me when I listened to your music. So if you don't mind, Nico, I would like to, start going back to your early years and find out about how everything came down,
Oh, sure.
coming, your musical journey, I guess we could say, Nico.
Okay.
uh, so Nico, I guess you grew up in the 90s, more or less,
Uh,
more or less,
in the 80s. I was
80s.
born in the late 70s, and the 80s were my childhood.
Oh,
And the
okay.
adolescent years were the 90s.
Mm.
Yes.
Uh, so tell me about your first about the first music you remember hearing in your I guess your childhood at home. What kind of music was it?
Oh, yeah, I have a really clear memory from when I was about 3 or 4 years old. I was sitting in the back of the car while my parents were driving around, and the radio would be playing all the time. And of course, it was the 80s, so they played the 70s stuff and the early 80s stuff.
Hmm.
And what really stuck with me were those sounds of the early electronic music pioneers. And they were all over the airwaves back then, like Jean-Michel Jarre or
Mm-hmm.
Vangelis or Hot Butter, this popcorn, dit, 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 dit.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
um, and
Yeah.
Magic Fly by the band Space, they're from France, and all those great electronic sounds were in the radio, and I just absorbed them as a
Hmm.
child. I never knew what those artists were called like or why this music was without any vocals, but I liked it somehow.
Hmm.
And it wasn't until years later that I finally found out when a school friend he lent me a synthesizer greatest CD compilation of
Hmm.
his, and there I found all those melodies from my childhood, and I thought, oh well, this is great, and now I finally know who those artists are, and that was a real eye opener for me, like yeah, like a little wormhole straight back into my earliest childhood memories.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So that's what kind the music that your parents were listening to. I mean, was there like you guys had
No,
a record collection at home that you
yeah, yeah. So my parents were listening more to the stuff they were listening to in their childhood or
mm,
youngster years. Like we call it oldies here, but I think it's mostly beat music from the UK that was very well known. My father likes Queen, and
oh,
he had some Pink Floyd
mm,
and Led Zeppelin and stuff like that, Black
yeah,
Sabbath, and so I pretty yeah I got some pretty much rock stuff too. Yes.
mm, mm. So how did you first discover the folk, I guess, and traditional music?
Yeah, I think the first time I heard folk, oh, yeah, you can't say it's the first time, but I started with Mike Oldfield.
Okay.
So he's not that pure folk musician.
Yes, correct.
But if
Yeah.
you listen to the songs To France or Moonlight Shadow, there is that folk spirit in there.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
so I listened to more of his songs and albums, and I found Omadon, and that was a bit
Ramadan. Yeah.
experimental stuff and
Yeah.
very strong folk influence. And later, then when I got a bit older, I experienced that I liked the folk stuff in combination with other genres like Skyclad. They are a folk metal band. Um,
Mm,
I remember they had very strong lyrics, intelligent lyrics. I mean, and
mm,
very political band. They are. Yeah, they were fighters for animals and nature, sorry, and nature and stuff. And
yeah.
I like that. I like this mixture of thrash metal and folk music, and yeah, all
Mm, yeah.
that's in there.
Yeah.
And later then I even visited a concert of Noel McLaughlin. I don't know if you know
No,
Noel
I don't know.
McLaughlin. He's a traditional Irish music singer, and he was very well known in the 90s, probably today too. I don't know if he's still alive.
You're
Oh,
still up. Mm,
I don't know if.
hmm. I have no idea.
Oh, I hope he's well.
Yeah, you mentioned Mike Oldfield. There are songs that I listen from Elaine.
Yes,
Wow, because what is the is it Black Veil? How do you say Black Veil? Is it?
Black Veil
There
is
is the
the
song that
latest album. Yeah.
the latest. There is a video where you appear as something else. Is that what the song is?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, and where you appear. There is a song. That song. I think there is some guitar licks there that sound like Mark Oldfield to me, if I
Yes.
remember. The sound.
Yes, you're totally right. This song is from Skaldir, also Marcus. He's my best friend and the guitarist in
Hmm.
Elaine, in the band
Yeah.
Elaine. And this was the first thing I said to him when I heard the demos of the song. I said, "Oh, this gives me a slight Mike Oldfield feeling
Yeah.
about this
Yeah.
solo." Yeah,
Yeah.
we had the same impression on that. But I like
Yeah.
that song very much.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
was a Mike Oldfield. I always been a big fan of him.
Yes. Oh,
Since I was since the 70s, the late 70s, when I first bought if it wasn't Turbo Bells, the first one I bought, I think it was on Madan, the one you said. That's the
oh,
one,
really?
the first cassette I ever had
Oh,
from
really?
him.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
I got a big disc. I got a lot of. I got most of his discography. To tell you the truth, I was a big fan of him. He never came to the United States though. He never played.
He played in Germany when I was
Oh yeah.
small, still small. There was a concert um, um, where they took trucks and r drove through the whole country, and then people, artists that were on board, just played on several places, public
Hmm.
places. They just
Yeah.
made the stages on the trucks, and Mike Oldfield was one of them who played there.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
s- I can't remember that concert, but I must have been there, I guess.
Yeah.
So somewhere in
Yeah, he
our
was very popular in Germany.
surrounding.
Well, he's
Yes,
still
he
around.
was. And
Very
I
popular.
like very much the way he changes his style from album to album.
Yeah.
If you listen to Songs from Distant Earth, I
Oh
guess it
yeah,
was called,
more
it is
electronic.
more
Yeah, yeah,
electronic and a little new agey.
yeah.
And this yeah, fit very much to his music too. And yeah, he has a great mixture in his repertoire.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, what was your first instrument that you ever tried to play?
I think the first instrument was a recorder in
Hmm.
yeah, or all the Christmas songs to play for your grandparents.
Hmm.
And yeah, but it was very limited, you know. You can't
Hmm.
do much with the
Much.
recorder.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I tried some acoustic guitar, so classical guitar, took some lessons, but I realized I did not really like this
Hmm.
playing notes from sheet other people wrote there, and this was nothing I really liked to. And so I gave it up. And I'm a little bit sorry
Hmm.
that I did that because this you learn the techniques, and the techniques are very important for your later composing work. So
Right.
yeah, I should have done that some more hours, I think. But it's like it is.
Yeah. And how about writing, composing and writing?
Yes.
Did you start early doing little things like writing songs on a notebook?
Yes, yes. My parents had it was just a fun thing, like a little keyboard. It was an organ that was with with air. There was an air machine and that blew through that organ and made a sound, and you could
Oh,
just play the notes you wanted to. And yeah, I wrote down the letters of the note on the white keys so I knew what I was playing. Then
right.
I noted the melodies I liked in a little notebook, and that was my
Hmm.
type of composing back then. Yeah, it's the first thing I tried. So little melodies on that,
Hmm.
yeah, cheap organ.
You don't have it. You don't have it anymore, right?
Oh, we
You still
do.
have it around?
Yes, I was on my parents' attic just four
Oh.
days ago because I was looking for something, and yeah, it's like a little time capsule up
Hmm.
there. And I looked behind an old bed
Hmm.
because I thought what I was looking for would be there, maybe. And then I saw that old organ, and
Wow.
I just thought, hey, well, I remember it.
Yeah, remember. Takes you
Yes.
back to the younger years. Tell me about your the local music scene. Where you're from? Where is it? Central, Western
It's more the
Germany?
western part of Western Germany, yeah. And it's it's a very how do you say a rural area.
Hmm.
There's not much going on there. So um I think
There were
yeah,
no music venues in your in that area.
no, not
Nothing at all.
really, not really. So there were yeah, it was a town with about 5 or 6 thousand people in the 80s. It was really small, and
Hmm.
um, at least I wasn't aware of a music scene outside of marching bands or volunteer fire brigade orchestras or local men choirs or something like that. There were some concerts in the local sports hall, I remember. Um, And
Hmm.
I was there too. It was my first concert there with a German Neue Deutsche Welle band, you know, that genre, the early German
Hmm.
music, electronic music genre. Um, and they were there, and I watched them, and it was great. But it was very few opportunities to go to cultural events there. Yeah, but
Hmm.
in the 90s, there were the first young bands that appeared there because children in my age grew up and they learned an instrument and they liked Nirvana and they wanted to sound like Rage Against the Machine, whatever.
Yeah.
And then there were demo bands and regional bands, and they formed. And one of those bands was a death metal band, I remember.
Hmm.
And the keyboardist of that band is my best friend Marcus, and
Oh, okay.
that's how I got into this way of making music with the keyboards and
Hmm.
programming the keyboards. He told me all of that.
Oh, he
Yeah.
was.
So he, he was part of that early scene. And later on, we formed an own band for for ourselves, and we tried to be part of that scene too, but it was very tiny. Yeah.
Mm. So that those were during your school year, so that was a little after that.
Yes, yes. School years. I don't know, eighth grade, ninth grade, like
Mm.
that. 15,
Mm.
16 years old. Yeah, maybe.
Mm. So were you performing at all at that time to any audiences?
Oh, we tried. Yeah, we had that dark wave band named Claret, and
Okay, I was going to ask
we
you about that
yes,
one.
yes. So Marcus had one live performance with his death metal band on a local festival, open air in a local town, and of course there are grandmas and aunties, and they don't really listen to death metal normally.
Right.
So when somebody's growling on the stage and this was a little bit misplaced maybe, but I liked the music very much. And later on, we found with our own band, we found places where we could play live, and we had the audience that was into the style of music we were playing. That was okay. We
Mm.
weren't good, but it was
Well,
nice.
but there were two records that you guys released, no? The if we're talking about Claret.
Claret, oh
Yeah,
yes.
there was two records you guys put out.
Wait, I think I have it here. So the nostalgic things I always have here.
Yeah, because
This is the first no records. They were tapes back then,
was it
and this
Dreamscape?
was yes, this is
Oh, the
the
cassette.
first cassette we made, and
Is it that's 1996? Is that
this
what
is
it?
1996, right? So if you make the booklet, if you
Yeah,
unfold the booklet, you have some
yeah. It's
information, some pictures, and on the back were the lyrics.
oh,
We
okay.
made all that by hand, and the
Yeah.
computer was burning because of the graphic works. It wasn't really made for graphics, but we tried.
So you were playing the keyboards, Nico,
We
on that?
both played the keyboards. We
Hmm.
started with Marcus had some songs. I wasn't very much into the techniques of the keyboard then when we
Hmm.
started. But I learned it pretty quickly. So in first instance, I wrote the lyrics and made some vocals.
Hmm.
We sang through guitar processor, effects processor, and we have one yeah, reverb channel there that was good for vocals, and we liked it. And I remember it was Kanal 5.3, channel 5.3. This things
Hmm.
you don't forget. And
Right,
this
right,
was
right.
this was the way we made it. And later, yes, I wrote own songs, and we combined both our songs and sang.
Hmm. So that's when you were playing in this band. Is that the moment you thought, yeah, this is not a hobby anymore? Is you're taking things more seriously, or
Mm,
not at that time yet? You were like, this is just a pastime for me.
Well, to be honest, it it was never more than a hobby to me,
Hmm.
because we all go to work. Most of us have jobs outside of that band,
Hmm.
and back then, of course, also I was learning my job back then, and I wanted to have security and as a young band, you don't sell much. We sold, I don't
Hmm.
know, 40, 50 of those, and we took 10 marks back then. It wasn't a euro time then. It was
Right.
before the euro. So 10
Yeah.
marks, and this was it. We didn't get rich with it, but we wanted the fame, and that was it. Yeah, it wasn't really thing we took too serious. We got silly some years later, and we thought, hey, we're a gothic band or a dark wave band, and why are we not allowed to make fun things in our music? So the third the third tape we released was this one, and you see it's pink and
Beautiful.
it's a belly full
Belly
of
full of
sunshine.
sunshine. Oh,
You
okay.
wouldn't expect gothic music on that.
No, not really. I was feeling like my Caribbean music the way it looks.
Yes, yes, and it was Gothic music. Um, I don't know what we were thinking, but yeah, we wanted to do something different than the others.
Mm. Did you play outside your area or your did you go to play outside of your region, I guess we could say?
Yeah, not with Claret. With Claret,
Maybe,
oh
maybe.
well, we played in the region and in Point One that was a club for rock and gothic and subgenres, and
Mm,
there we played live. And but yeah, in Kassel that was a little bit further away, but
mm,
there was no like a scene or something like that. At
mm,
home, we just picked some places we thought, hey, this could be interesting for us. Or by coincidence, we knew someone that knew someone and they
mm.
needed a band for the evening, but it was never really good live performance, really.
Mm. So tell me, what after that? Is that what Elaine came next, or you were how long from
Yes, for me,
Claret?
yes. Yes, for me,
Was?
yes. Claret, we made one last album that was more serious. It was called The Impossible, and it must have been recorded in the late 90s, I guess.
Hmm.
But we kept it in the drawer because we weren't so, yeah, it didn't sound good enough for us. And yeah, it took a long time to finish it.
Hmm.
Um, but there's, um, yeah, there's an interesting story I can tell you about that.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know if I can say it, if
Yeah.
I can talk about it here, because it's a bit name dropping. Um, it's well, after we recorded this The Impossible album, it was in the late 90s, and we wanted to share it with our idol. It's a nuts idea. And the idol was Dan Svanö, and he was a Swedish metal producer. He was
Oh.
very well known for his work on Edge of Sanity.
Okay.
And Nightingale was his solo project, and we were very into that music of his.
Hmm.
And we had the idea. We just had our driver's licenses for some years or so, and we had the idea, hey, why not drive from Germany to Sweden and find him? It is about, I don't know, let me count, 800 miles or so by car, and we were not knowing where to find him exactly. But yeah, when we're in Sweden, once we're in Sweden,
We gotta ask for the guy.
we will grab a public phone book, and you know what? He was in there. We
Oh.
we knew the town where we should look, and we grabbed the phone book, and he was in there, and we just missed him. He was off for vacation. He just told us later. But the following year,
Hmm.
we reached out in advance, which was a better idea, I guess. And to our amazement, this actually worked. He showed up at our
Wow.
camping site.
Huh.
And we were grilling sausages and we were drinking beer, and he listened to our demo CD. It was back then already to our demo CD. He gave us his thoughts on it, and this all with this legendary producer, Dan Svanö.
Hmm.
And yeah, looking back, it was insanely bold of us and so very kind of him. And he didn't know us at all. We were random fanboys.
Right, right, right. That's
But
amazing.
this was one of the most impressing stories, situations of my early years. I will never forget that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing story. Yeah. So how did you first get because when we talk about Elaine, that band was formed in 2001, but you weren't you
Yes.
weren't you're not one of the founders of the band, were you?
Yeah, yeah. No,
You
I
were.
wasn't one of the founders. So Marcus, who I was already talking about, my best friend back then already, he had multiple bands going, and one of them was Claret. Another one was that Cemetery Gates band. I don't know if they existed. If they
Hmm.
still existed at that point. But Cascade was another band, and Hail was another band. So there was very much to do for him in a musical way, and he
Hmm.
liked it very much. But then he had um, he was studying, and the university degree he was finishing that took a lot of time of his.
Hmm.
And yeah, he was founding Elaine together with Joran, a friend of his, and this was 2001.
Right.
And it, yeah, they recorded a demo tape. This was Der Nachtwald, and I listened to that one too when I wasn't a member of Elaine. And
Hmm.
it was so stunning for me. I very much liked it.
Hmm.
And it sounded like, to me, it sounded like a mixture of Mike Oldfield meets Clannad, and there was a little bit of
Right.
Lorena McKennitt in there, and it was
Yeah.
magical. It was so much more than I could imagine of composing music myself. So it was beyond that to me, and I very much liked it. And then when Marcus had his university degree time, his learning and writing time, and he said, "Oh, I must abandon some of the projects I have," and he chose to keep being active in the projects that seemed to be the closest to a record deal. He already had one record deal with one band, and the other band was close to it. So he said, "Okay, those two, I think I'll go with." And but I don't want to set an end to Elaine. And he asked me if I could imagine to take over his role as a keyboardist, and I did not really think I was capable of that. But
Hmm.
I didn't think twice, and I said, "Hey, okay, if Joran is okay, is fine with that, let's try it. I don't know if I can, but let's try it."
Hmm.
And this was how I came in. And I thought, what would it be that I can contribute to the sound of Elaine? And because to me, there was everything there they needed. And since I had this electronic backbone and this love for electronics, I thought, hey, maybe
Hmm.
those electronics can push the band or can enrich the sound a little bit more. And this was
Right.
what I was bringing into the band. And we recorded Joran and Katrin, the violin player, and me on the keyboards. We recorded The Fire of Glenmore as a demo tape or a demo CD back then
Right.
in a cellar studio. So it was all improvised and recorded everything. And first, of course, we created the songs, talked about, hey, how is the art style? Do we have a leitmotif, and so on?
Hmm.
Yeah, and then the songs came out one by another, and yeah, this was the album at the end. And in the end, and
Yeah.
we tried to get a record deal with that. And before Marcus left, he told us, "Okay, guys, if you get a record deal, then I'll be back. Promise." And we got that record deal. It was a very hard work, but we got the record deal in early 24, sorry,
2004.
24, 2004, right?
Hmm.
Um, so we went into the production of the album, and I was very, very happy that Marcus was back there. He rejoined as the guitarist of the band, and um, songwriter and co-producer. And it was better to have him on board. It was very good because it was his job. Audio engineering is his job, and he
Hmm.
made the sound so much better than I could have ever made it because my skills weren't that good at that time.
Hmm.
So it was, yeah, it had to be like this. So we were four people in the band back then, and this was Elaine in the on the
Hmm.
first album, The Fire of Glenmore. This is 20 years ago now.
Right. You just put out what is it, like a 20th anniversary
Yeah, the
album?
band is 2001, was founded 2001, so we're almost on the 20th, 25th anniversary, but the first album was in 2004 in November, and we celebrated that last
Hmm.
year with our anniversary box of the album.
Right. It's
I
a three
have
CD.
it.
Is it like a three CD I
Yes,
saw?
yes, 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 it is.
Yeah,
Let me
three
see if I
CD.
have it here, and I can
Yeah.
show you.
And you got a booklet, I
Oh, it's
think.
up here.
You
Yeah.
got a some kind of booklet.
Yes.
24
So this
pages.
is this is the box. Oh, let me open it for you.
Yeah,
It's no problem.
don't
Ah,
break the
come
seal.
on.
Don't break the seal, Nico.
It's no problem. So this is the box. See,
Yeah,
it's huge,
it's yes,
and here something fell out. It's a certificate. This is a
um,
limited edition of
oh,
500.
oh, I see. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and if you download it, I have to make
There's
the
like a
code.
code.
There's a code, a unique code,
Yeah,
and you
yeah,
get
yeah,
the ebook. It's an ebook of a band biography I wrote for this release about the first 2 or 3 years I was in Elaine and the first tours we had and all that stuff, all those
yeah.
stuff that happened. Yeah,
Hmm.
and this is the booklet,
Yeah.
and it's all with the artwork of Joran and yeah, all the
Yeah.
lyrics in there.
She's a graphic designer, right, Jordan?
Yes, she is. She is.
Yeah. She,
Here she is.
yeah, I
Yeah,
see her.
that's her.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
She's.
remember when we took that photo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. You
and
guys
that's
keep being keep keep me busy listening to all your albums.
yes.
Because you guys put out a lot of music, and most of them they have like many songs on the album. It's not like six or seven. It's like 16, 17 songs in each of
Yeah,
your. Yeah,
especially the second album, Lore of Nen, there were yeah, 17 or 18
yeah,
songs.
it's a lot of songs, and
Yes.
I remember some of them because but I don't remember which albums that they were. I listened to all of them, but there are songs that really caught my attention that I had to listen again, like "Open Arms." That's from the second album, I
Oh,
think. "Open
yes, it
Arms"
is.
for the
Yes.
unseen. "Eyes of a Stranger." I remember those songs that I have to go back
Really?
and
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
yeah, and I just don't remember Three Roses. I remember the songs. I
Hmm.
don't remember which albums. So there are a lot of songs that I really enjoyed, but I have to go back to them and because I was rushing through the albums, when you
Mm.
just want to listen and jump to the next.
Yes.
There's so much stuff. It takes time. For my audience, if you don't know about Elaine, just you can start at the beginning or at the end. What doesn't matter, but
Yes.
as long as you listen to the whole thing. But for me, it's to tell you the truth, to be sincere, I wasn't expecting so much music from you people. I was like, yeah, it will take me like 10 minutes to go through the discography, but I couldn't do that. I have to spend more time, because
Yeah.
it's so much the composing and, the interludes between the songs. There's so much stuff going on that you cannot just let it go through. It takes time.
Yes, it's really music you have to take your time for, I think.
Yeah,
There's one album that is a soundtrack album.
right,
This is especially made for a board game or maybe a live action role play
right.
experience.
The
So
le
you can let this one take place a little bit in the background. That's okay. That works
Yeah,
fine.
yeah. I did that. That's the Legends of Andor. Is that
Right.
that's the one, the original
Yes.
board game?
Yes.
Yeah, that one is like more background that I could. I
Yeah.
mean, you gotta pay attention, but it's not like, the lyrics. I don't know, like.
Yeah, right. So this one is the concept behind this one is to yeah, to let it play if you want to play something, ne? So in the background, or you can still listen to it like to a regular Elaine album. Yes.
Yeah. I was gonna ask you regarding at the beginning. You guys play many shows, many concerts in
Yes.
the early years, but then not that many, right? You were like just
Yeah.
composing, but
The
you
last
weren't
one,
playing. Yeah.
yes, the last concert was in 2019. It was a great and big, huge festival in Bavaria,
Mm,
a medieval festival.
mm,
The festival Medieval. So that was the name of it. It's a huge festival, and this was our last concert.
mm,
The problem for us is it's not really a problem. It's a decision.
mm,
We live very far away from each other now. We all come from the same region, at least Joran, Marcus, and me.
mm,
And Katrin, our violin player, came from the eastern part of Germany. That was yeah, a challenge in the beginning because even that one member being away several
Right,
hundred miles
right.
um, takes some of your spontaneous possibilities. And now Joran lives in Bavaria, in the southern part of Germany. I
Okay.
live in Cologne, in the western part, and Simon, our violin player, lives in Essen, which is closer to us, but we're still far away from each other, and there's no rehearsal possibility really.
Hmm.
And the family stuff that's going on is something else that
Hmm.
makes it hard for us to
Right.
go on a live tour again.
Hmm.
At
Uh,
least as a band, Elaine. Yes.
right, right. And some of your songs are English, but some are also in German, no? I, what,
For Elaine, yes, we have
Elaine.
the most
Yeah.
most songs are in English, and there are two or three or four in German language. Sometimes we make it with two languages, so it's partly German, partly English. And there's also one or two in Quenya, which is the Tolkien language
Hmm, 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 hmm.
of the Alps, I think.
Right. So, tell me about your musical project towards in Japanese,
Yeah,
because you started this project what during the pandemic?
yeah, right. And it was the pandemic that yeah triggered me to release this stuff. So I had written a lot of demos for Elaine
Hmm.
that were very electronic in style, and some of them they just didn't fit. They felt too strange or too out of character for the band.
Hmm.
Um, you can, yeah, on the Black Whale album, there are two songs of mine. The one is Keyhole,
Keyhole.
um,
Okay,
and
that's one
this
of
one
right.
is very electronic.
Yes.
And I think if I think back and I would have had that project Towards in Japanese back then, I probably would have used that song for Towards in Japanese because
Hmm.
yeah, it's not the original Elaine sound you can hear there. I think it fits. It's a good song for the album and yeah, but it for today, looking back, I think it's a little bit too electronic, but it's all right. It didn't hurt.
I enjoy that song too. It's one of my
Fine.
favorites.
Oh, thank you.
Searchlight also.
Is another one of those. This was the second
Yeah.
one I wanted to mention because also this is very 80s electronic
Mm-hmm.
or 80s art rock style. Um, yeah, not so really Elaine, but yeah, I always try to check out where the boundaries are and try
Yeah.
to find new
Yeah.
experiences for the band.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but as I said, there were many demos that were way too electronic for Elaine, even before the Keyhole time and years before that. And
Yeah.
I put those songs in the drawer. I thought, hey, I don't have any idea how to release them. There was no streaming back then. You just had the chance to release music on a CD or an LP, and I couldn't afford that. And I didn't have the idea how to make music that would sell enough items to be yeah to hit the return on investment at some point. So yeah. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. That.
so then came the streaming services like Spotify. It wasn't hard to put your own music on there, and I thought, hey, come on, now's the time. Let's see. It's pandemic outside. You, you have to sit at home. Let's see what kind of music you still have in the drawer. And I
Mm.
found some old tracks. They were like a little bit Commodore 64 music style. The one was Sky Above the Port. This was the first single I had. Um,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I
that's
listened to those singles 2020. I think that's when they
yeah,
released.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And the other one was Neon Pixie Dream Girl. Neon Pixie Dream Girl. That's the title of that one. And those have these SID chip sounds from the
Yeah,
Commodore
yeah, yeah.
64, and I was trying to experiment with those.
Hmm.
So it was nothing for Elaine. But this was the beginning of Tourists in Japanese.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to have a more William Gibson style of music, so this cyberpunk stuff with a little backlash to the 80s in the sound,
Yeah.
a little bit dystopian, but it quickly shifted into more open space where I just make the kind of music I feel like making in the moment.
Yeah, there's so much. Like I said, I didn't listen to the. There you have some demo recordings that you published 1996, the Wasteland
Oh
Years.
yes, right. This was one of the first solo demos, if you like, I wrote. It was in the early Claret years,
Hmm.
when I borrowed the keyboard from Marcus and I had about a week to make something with it.
Hmm.
Then I wrote some, sorry, hitting the microphone.
Yeah.
Then I was writing some songs and yeah, it was, I thought I could use them for Claret, but it didn't fit there. So I said, okay, let's make them a little bit different, make them a little bit more dystopian and take, I had another MIDI module with some synthesizer sounds and yeah. So it was a wild mix of things, and I never released this one.
Right.
I mixed it with the Windows sound recorder on Windows 3.11. It was all
Oh, that's
manual. I couldn't really work with it. It was just by
right.
coincidence if it fits or it fits not, and you listen to it and oh, it's okay, I'll leave it like that.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was all mono. Yeah, so
Hmm.
it stayed on the hard disk recorder and or on the hard disk of the PC I had back then. And
Hmm.
then I found it some years later, maybe the early 2000s. I burned a CD with it. I listened to it in the car, and I thought,
Hmm.
oh my God, good. It's pretty good you didn't release that, because it's such a weak quality. And
Hmm.
yeah, the hard disk did. Yeah, it was corrupted at some point. I didn't get access to the data on that,
Hmm.
and I forgot about the songs. And when I was moving into to Cologne, I found that CD, and it had this TWY, these three letters, and I instantly knew, oh, this is the Wasteland Years demo. And I
Hmm.
listened to it, and
Hmm.
oh, yeah, it's got this nostalgic style. And nowadays the Gen Z people listen to post-punk,
Yeah.
gothics, garage sound songs. Why not release this
Right.
just for fun?
Right.
And it's got a story. And yeah, this is what I did.
Hmm.
I just released it. I made a little master and
Hmm.
I fixed some of the digital cracks on there because yeah, the CD was very there were scratches on that one, and
Hmm.
yeah, this is the best it got.
Right.
Yeah.
And what about? Tell me about the record, "Simple Thief," Los Angeles. Is
Oh
that
yes,
that was prior to the well, the Ghost Kitchen was the one that I listened, at first.
yes.
That's
Ghost
what.
Kitchen is probably the major work
Yeah.
of the band or the project towards in Japanese. And before that, yeah, from 2020 on, I just released singles, and they didn't connect to each other. And I love to work like this because when you're working with Elaine, it's always a concept. And at the end of the project, there's always a CD, and you have to have the artwork, you have to have a story for the press material, you have to have
Right.
um, yeah, anything you need for a record release.
Hmm.
Um, very, very much work. And I really enjoyed just to put out some digital singles, make a little social media announcements to that, and this was it. But I realized, okay, I need something more here because I thought there is something more you can get out of that project. And back to that time, I was very related to Los Angeles because yeah, as a kid, I have to start a little bit earlier. As a kid, I loved radio dramas, audio dramas. Here in Germany, we have a large scene for radio plays and audiobooks for children. They were like
Oh,
real dramas with narrators and speakers, and they all took a role, and you had the sound effects and music in there, just like a film, just without the image.
right.
And this is what I listened to for all my childhood. And the most popular series here in Germany was Die drei Fragezeichen, the three question marks. But originally in the US, it was called The Three Investigators.
Hmm.
And it was a series from Robert Arthur. And Robert Arthur, who was some kind of friend of Alfred Hitchcock's,
Hmm.
and he asked his friend Alfred, "Hey, can I borrow your name? So you're some sort of sponsor or a sparrings partner to a fictive group of young investigators, of children investigators." And he said, "Yeah, just do it."
Yeah.
And then I have the books here.
Yeah.
And then yeah, these books came out like The Secret of the Haunted Mirror. This
Huh.
is the American book,
Right, 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 right.
or The Mystery of the Vanishing Treasure.
Hmm.
Or this one was very eerie.
Hmm.
The Mystery of the Whispering
Whispering
Mummy.
Mummy. Huh.
Yes. So in Germany, they look like this. These are the books, and they look much more mysterious, I think,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because of the artworks by
Yeah, the artwork
Eiger
probably, yeah.
Rasch. Yeah, she was a great illustrator, and
Hmm.
she made a lot of the atmosphere we received as children from the series. And then they made audio plays from this, and it was a huge success.
Hmm.
And this all takes place in Los Angeles and the
Oh.
proximity. So I knew places like Los Angeles, Hollywood, and Santa Barbara, Santa Monica, Malibu
Hmm.
Beach. And it is a fictive place called Rocky Beach where they live, and it's somewhere between Malibu and Santa Monica.
Hmm.
So when I was in California for the first time in 2016, I think I had to see all those spots I knew from what I made up in my mind. I didn't know
Right.
how it might feel there or how it might look there.
Hmm.
Later on, I got a slight impression because I played Grand Theft Auto 5, and this is
Hmm.
actually it is Los Angeles in small, and you can drive through Los Angeles. And I realized some places from the game and places from the stories, and so yeah, it. I had always a relation to California somehow because of
Hmm.
those series. Yeah.
There is a song that the last one, I don't know if it's the last one, You and Me in Argentina. What is that?
Yeah. Um, it is a very loose idea I had for the leitmotif of the album or the EP.
Hmm.
Um, I played Grand Theft Auto back then very much, and I
Hmm.
like the story behind it. So it's a gangster story,
Right.
and they plan heists and they rob banks and they are not so nice to policemen and stuff. But it's a game and it's a story, and I yeah rewatched some of the heist movies then, and they all have the same atmosphere. There's heat everywhere, and I wanted
Right.
to feel that heat, and I had the idea, why not set this a heist story without any characters named or so. Just put a heist story in a cyberpunk style
Hmm.
feeling and call the tracks like you would call the chapters of a novel,
Okay.
like this. So, and
Hmm.
and the last part is, well, the heist didn't work out. The police got them, and they just have to get rid of the police and fly away to Argentina.
Argentina. Okay.
Yes.
That's very interesting stuff. So tell me about Bianca Stucker. How did
Yes.
you first meet her? because I think
Yeah,
I did some research, but during the research, it seems like she performed a dance for some of the Elaine concerts. Is that right?
yeah, that's right.
Is that
Yeah,
how you
we
first? Yeah.
yes, right. We shared stages because she helped us as a dancer and a percussionist
Okay.
on some of the live performances. And yeah, this is how we met, and it only felt natural to collaborate at one time.
Hmm.
After the Black Veil album wrapped up in the late 2022, I
Hmm.
think. Yeah, yeah. I finally had the headspace to start something new, and I wanted to do something new because Blackwell took so much energy from all of us. It's the most personal album. It took the most time to create it,
Oh,
and
okay.
we were very happy to release it. So
It's
it
one of my
could
favorite albums. Even the
really.
cover that you made of Scarborough Fair. I like,
Um,
I listened to the one from Sarah Brightman. I really enjoyed that one too. You don't know if
yes.
she did one. But that album is the one that I listened the most. I don't know if because it was the latest, but it's the one that I have more songs that I like. I don't know.
Oh, that's great to hear. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was the latest. I think it's the most mature one,
Yeah.
and yeah, we put the most personality of ourselves into the songs there, and I think you can hear that. But it also took most of the energy from us
Right.
because of that,
Hmm.
and it was good to release it to be free for something else, and I needed to do something else right after that.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. It was like an inner pulse. I needed to do this, and
Hmm.
I wrote a song that was Mindset Gap, and
Right.
I thought I would like to try it with. It should be a cooperation, a collaboration,
Hmm.
and then. Yeah, Bianca came back into my mind. I liked her work very much, and I knew she was a great singer and and musician too. And we talked about that earlier, just very unspecific. Hey, wouldn't it be nice to do something together at one point?
Hmm.
And yeah, then I wrote this demo and I sent it to her, and it was still a little bit rough. But then when she sent me back her vocals, then everything clicked into place, you know. And those vocals, they fit so perfectly. Um, so even better than I imagined. And she brought her own charismatic tone into that and a very unique expression. She's got this soully touch in her voice, and
Yeah.
this is something I very much liked, and especially on that song. And hearing that, it was pretty clear for me. I wanted to do an album with several vocal artists. I
Okay.
don't see myself as a singer, so I wanted to ask friends of mine and maybe some people I could connect to. But when I listened to this Mindset Gap, I just thought, okay, this has to be a full album. And I asked her very slowly, like, hey, you, do you think you would have time to make some more songs with me?
Hmm.
Because I know she's very busy with what she does. I heard in your interview she talked about her tattoo studio and the dancing lessons
Oh
she gives
yes, she
and
has no
the
time.
performances. She is so busy and she has such a great output and such a great quality in what she does.
Yes.
So I was very happy that she said, "Okay, let's try it. Just step by step, not
Hmm.
everything at once. Just let's do it the way the songs." Come to you and send it to me and I will sing it when I've got time. And yeah, this is the way we worked on it. And
Hmm.
I think when we recorded the first one, two or three tracks, I didn't have all of the songs finished yet. I didn't know how many songs and how many topics there would be. This was all yeah, coming.
Right.
And at the beginning of 2023, yeah, I compiled those some more demos and she listened to them and we just were on the same wavelength. We love organized working. And this is really, really important if you do something like an album together. And this
Mm.
was pretty good. And also the artistic chemistry was good. It was relaxed working atmosphere between us, and that fueled the creative process in its own way. And that's why Ghost Kitchen became a duo project between Bianca and me. And yeah,
Mm.
I'm really genuinely proud of what we created together
Yeah,
there.
it's a great album. Like I said, I listened a lot of times to it. That's what I was like. This
Yeah,
guy, I don't
it's
know
it's
who.
this one. Yeah, let me
Yeah,
show it to you too. Yeah,
yeah,
this is the
that's
CD. This is how it looks like.
yeah.
There,
I see
there we are.
Bianca, and
Yes.
you. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The
See,
photo was taken by Chelsea. Thank you, Chelsea. Shout out.
yeah,
Yeah, this is the CD, and there's also a booklet in it.
yeah. You got the lyrics on there.
Yes, it's this is very important to me that you can
Yeah,
read along with the songs,
of
and if
course.
you own the CD, most people listen to it in the streaming services. But if you go and buy a CD and listen to it,
Yeah,
um, I think
everything is
you
available in Bandcamp. All your
it
recordings.
is, it is,
Yeah,
it is,
right.
yes. Also with the lyrics, but I'm a very I like to touch things when I listen to music, and I like to read along and have something
Yeah.
in my hands. Maybe I'm an older generation,
No,
but
no,
I
it's
like that.
just like me.
Yeah,
I need to find out who they are, where who
yes,
wrote
it's a
the
better feeling,
lyrics.
isn't it?
Yeah, of
It
course.
it it, it
It's more
binds you
rewarding
more.
to me than
That's it. It should be a reward to somebody
yeah,
who has made up who has made the decision. I buy this album. I support
yeah,
this band a little more, the extra mile than if I go to the streaming services. And this is what I want to reward with that. Yes.
yeah. It's very nice. I was going to ask you. There is you are still putting out singles. The latest one
Mhm.
I listened to was how do you say Cleast Park? Cleast Park? Cleast Park?
Leistpark.
This is terrible.
Yeah, sorry.
Cleast Park. It's,
I'm sorry.
no, 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 no. But there is also a Potter's End, the winter fall redux. That
Yes.
that's a new. Is that a new version that you guys put out
Yes.
or you
So
put out? No,
let's 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 yeah, let's talk about Patterns End. Patterns End is the final song of the Ghost Kitchen album.
right.
And Ghost Kitchen is a very psychological album. It's about yeah, the whole range from depression over addictions and
Right.
trauma and stuff. And Patterns End is the end of the line and
Mm-hmm.
the end of the album. And after Ghost Kitchen, I had the idea of making some remixes of the songs, but
Mm.
not myself, but I would ask um, artists I know. So the first remix there was from Bishop. He's an electronic artist, and he makes music like, yeah, imagine you're in the movie Alien and they play some, yeah, it's not dubstep, but they play hard electronic music there in
Mm.
that spaceship from Alien. This is how I feel when I when I
Right.
listen to Bishop, and he made a wonderful remix of Day In Day Out. And then I thought, okay, Bianca has her electronic project Form Follows Function. I will ask
Right.
her if she would like to do a remix of one of our songs, and she
Mm.
did. Also, very unique style. This was from Mindset Gap. Yes, Mindset Gap. And I
Mm.
very much like that one too. It was pretty different from Bishop's. Then I thought, okay, I want to do a remix myself too. And I remixed the Ghost Kitchen, the title track,
Okay.
to make it sound a bit like Sisters of Mercy. I,
Mm.
I wanted to have this on point Sisters of Mercy sound because
Mm.
I always feel like that when I listen to the song in the original version, but it
Mm.
doesn't sound like Sisters of Mercy, but it would fit. And then I tried it out, and it
Mm.
was a Sisters of Mercy song. But don't say it because I don't want to get sued. Um, And the last one of the remixes we've got is from Yeji Baba. This is a music project that's more in the steampunky, folky region, from Oliver. Oliver is also from Bianca's music family, you could say.
Uh-huh.
They played years together in Violet, in the band
Violet.
Violet, yes.
Yeah.
And yeah, now he has Yezu Baba. And I
Mm.
also asked Oliver, hey, how about making a remix for us? That would be very
Okay.
great. And he did. And he didn't only make a remix, because remixing is, yeah, you put another beat, and you slightly rearrange the instruments. This is normally how a remix works, but he asked his bandmates, hey, come and play something new to it. And they did, and I very much loved that violin play, this additional violin play,
Yeah.
and the I don't know, a mandola it is that Oliver plays there, and all those additional instruments are
Mm.
pretty on point, and it sounds so folky.
Yes, it does.
Um,
Yeah.
I very much like that. So I said, "Oh no, this is not a remix. This is a redux, if you
Right.
want." And so they are an original artist for this track now.
Yeah. Yeah, I really enjoyed that one too. That is so much stuff. You kept me busy, Nico,
Yeah,
for the last couple of weeks.
this was my intention.
Yeah, there's also that song that you called Snow. There's a video as well. A beautiful song. I didn't know. I had no idea who. What's her name? Kitty? Kitty? What do you say?
Yeah, you can choose it. Sometimes I say kite, sometimes I
Kite?
say kitey, however you like to. Well, kite is not a real person.
Hmm.
Kite is my voice
Okay.
pitched for one octave and processed by a vocal artificial intelligence.
Oh.
So
Okay.
Snow is sung by me, but I thought it would be very strange if there wasn't some kind of female character or artist or co-artist to be um, to
Okay.
be with me there. So Kite is my yeah, if you like, so my vocal
You got
twin.
you got me fooled with that one.
Oh,
I
I didn't intend that because I'm very open with it. I don't like to fool people with this.
No, no, just kidding.
So so this is why I openly speak about it, because I very much like the um um yeah, the techniques that make stuff like this possible.
Hmm.
So I made AI music videos very early when they were possible to make
Hmm.
them. Today everybody has an AI music video, and it's nothing special anymore because today you like the natural um, looks again. You
Yeah,
want to
yeah, yeah.
see this is handcrafted. This is not an AI thing. But
Hmm.
2 years ago, it was whoa! It was state of the art. It was
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
very early, but yeah, this changes very quickly. But I think with Kite, it's very subtle. You if you don't know it, you won't realize it.
No, I did
And
not realize it. And yet there is a new single that is yeah you
yeah,
coming out.
next week, yes.
Get a life,
Get
right?
a life,
Get a
Jose.
life. That's
Get a
what I
life.
have to do. Get a life.
Yeah, it's about people who say, get your things together and do something serious now. And yeah, you just want to say, okay, why don't you try and shut up and get a life? Oh,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know if I can say shut up here or
You can say
YouTube will.
whatever you want, Nico.
Oh,
It's
really?
yeah. That's very that's doesn't hurt anybody when you say that.
Yeah, it's in the lyrics, so I just
Yeah,
quoted the lyrics here.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Yeah, and this was also with Kite. So my own vocals
wow.
uh, transformated into female vocals with an artificial intelligence and remixed into that song. But it's very important to me. The song is handcrafted. The vocals are originally sung. The lyrics are originally written.
Hmm.
You have this, yeah, AI music where you just say, write me a song like Queen with the vocals
Right.
of Eddie Vedder or whatever, and they
Yeah.
sing about Lord of the Rings. So then you get a song and it sounds awesome, of course, because there are lots of servers who are working to make it sound awesome, but it's no handwork. It's not handcrafted, and I think you will always hear that.
Hmm.
Yeah, and this is why I appreciate the real work.
Hmm.
Although I don't know how long we can still
Yeah.
make music like this.
Yeah, I understand. Uh, so beyond music, Nico, what other
Mhm.
forms, art forms like painting or literature, architecture, dance feels more, how do we could say it, more resonant with
Mm.
the feeling of the texture of your sound?
Oh, that's a tough question. Um,
Oh, it's a mixture of everything.
I think, yeah, I think visual arts and movies would fit very much. I was always looking for collaborations that bring my or our music when we're in a band
Mm,
to other art forms, like this Legends of Andor, which is a collaboration with a game designer, a board game designer, Michael Menzel. He's
mm,
very known here in Germany. His game is very known. It was Game of the Year in Germany. Um, so very, very renowned.
mm,
And this opens up a new space because when we made this Andor album, he just gave us um, a drawing where he showed um, the music has to be in the beginning this exciting, then has to fall down, then we need some more sounds, and then it has to be more
uh-huh.
exciting because he knew how the game would develop
Mm-hmm.
in the time you were playing it. And
Right.
this was very interesting to us. And also working with Kai Meyer, who is an author, a
Mm,
fantasy author from Germany. We
mm,
met by pure coincidence, and we made several albums together with him. So he had written several books, and we took some of his books and motifs and reworked them into music. So those albums, they were called Arcane and Arcane 2.
okay, yes. Mm-hmm.
Those two albums are very literature
Mm-hmm.
related. And they tell stories mostly.
Right.
And this was a very close work because we sent him the lyrics. What you think about the lyrics? He always said, "It's your music. You do what you like." But it was important to us that he liked the lyrics too,
Mm-hmm.
because his name was on the cover in the end. And it was a great way of working together and bringing the music together with another style of art, like literature in this case. But I always wanted to do something with um, like gaming, PC gaming, or movies. This is something I still have on my bucket list.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you regarding your composing, when you create pieces of music and stuff,
Mhm.
especially with many electronic sound layers, I guess we could say. When do you know it's
Mm.
truly like finish? What's your process of like stepping
Mm.
away from it and say, I'm done, or maybe I can stretch it a little more if I
Yeah,
can?
it's mostly I work with numbers. It's
Mm,
mostly not before the eighth iteration and not
mm,
after the 14th or 15th iteration of going into that sound. Um, yeah, it sounds funny, but
mm,
it's I can't describe it. It's a feeling. You listen to it and you've got this just right feeling. So
mm,
when you're composing, the first thing you do is you need the melody, and then you need to sequence the parts of the song say,
Mm,
okay, this is verse one, then you have a bridge, maybe, then you have the chorus, then you have a downfall, and you build it up again, and then you have twice the chorus at the end, and maybe you just make an end chord or you
mm,
whatever. So this is the composing part of the song. Then the lyrics have to fit, and you have to sing it. But the production is so much more work than really a creative process.
mm,
And the mixing also. So it's yeah, you go through different stages. Like the mixing, the panning, is it in the left corner? Should it be in the left corner? Should it be in the right corner? This
mm,
instrument, this sound, should it be wider? Should it be closer to the middle? And louder or softer? And those are micro decisions. And every time you listen to a song, you listen to about 15 or 20 different tracks which are mixed together, and you have to focus on those and see, okay, this louder, this softer, and do it, yeah, in real time somehow.
mm,
But mostly I mix it down, settle down, I calm down my ears, and then I
mm.
go for a walk and put in my earphones and I listen to it, and then I just on my iPhone I just make some notes, make this louder, make this softer, or something like that. You get into it, but when
Right.
it's right, you will hear it.
You know it.
You know it.
You also you enjoy traveling because I'm seeing you that you travel to many
Yes.
different countries. Well, I think you were so. Didn't you go to? Were you in the Canary Islands in
Yes,
Spain?
that's right.
Yeah. Uh, how, I mean, all of these the traveling to all these different places. Does it, I don't know, is physically or culturally influence your creative process of doing
Yeah,
music?
yeah, I
Because
think I think so.
mm,
I think the place where you compose and record, or just places you go to without any equipment, you just inhale the atmosphere of a place. This can have a huge impact on the sound or also on the lyrics of a song.
mm,
Yeah, we were just talking about Kleist Park, and
yeah,
this was one traveling song, if you like. Last year, in the beginning of the last year, I locked myself into a hotel room in Berlin. I wanted to make Berlin music,
yeah,
and yeah, in the morning, and I just worked on composing and mixing and then I go to the city. I would go to the city and write some lyrics there in a cafe or something.
mhm,
And this was also a process of re-listening, rewriting, and very compressed because I didn't have so much time.
right,
And when I was there in Berlin, there was two songs that came out. The one was "What I Need." This
mm,
was because I listened to Nine Inch Nails when
okay,
when I when I traveled to Berlin, and
yeah,
it sounds a little bit like Nine Inch Nails, not
mm,
not too much, but a
yeah,
little
yeah,
bit
yeah, yeah,
influenced. And Kleist Park was David Bowie influence because I read that David Bowie was living in Berlin for
yeah, he
several
did,
years and he wrote three records there. And I thought, hey, I'm here.
yeah,
I want to go there where Bowie lived and want to see his house. I want to feel the atmosphere there. Is it doing something to you? So I downloaded the Low album on Spotify and
right,
just had it in on my ears.
wow,
And I went to the U-Bahn and got out at Kleist Park. This is the station where David Bowie lived.
yeah,
Kleist Park.
and Iggy Pop used to show up also.
Yes, no, he didn't show up. He was in the backyard.
He wasn't there.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
Bowie banned him in the backyard because he always went to the fridge and stole his food. There's a story. I don't know if it's true.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
know. I really those three albums, especially Low for me. Heroes was yeah, there are songs that I really enjoy, but I think Low for me was the I listened to that album so many times, Nico. I don't know. It was so different from the previous works
yeah.
that he
It's
had with the Spiders from Mars and or the early years, and for me it was a big. I don't know. For me,
Disappointment.
it was no. I really. It took me like no. It was the best ever for
Oh,
me. The
oh, I
best
misunderstood
album.
it.
No.
Oh,
Just the
oh, oh, oh.
opposite. I really,
Yes,
I loved everything he did. I'm a crazy fan.
really.
David. Yeah, I'm like for me, he's one of the best musicians in everything.
Yes.
So yeah, that low album. I used to listen to that hours and hours and hours. I don't know. I don't know why, but
Bowie Bowie was a blind spot for me. I didn't know too much Bowie stuff.
yeah,
Um, I didn't know all of his albums, and when I listened to some of the songs, I thought, okay, I understand why people are connected to this music, but I don't feel it.
yeah,
So I pushed me into it. I said I need to get to the
yeah,
to the spot where I understand why people are so into Bowie. And
yeah,
this was Low, the first album I listened to in Berlin. It got me.
yeah. I
Listen
mean,
to it twice or three times, and you just got it.
yeah. When I
And
saw the
and
movie The Man Who Fell to Earth,
mhm.
I was like, oh man, this is a great. I don't know. I don't know what happened to me, but after that, no, there were the albums that really disappointed me, even especially in the 2000s that I
Mhm.
really they were not that great, I think. But those three albums with Robert Fripp at the guitar and all that,
Mm.
I really
Yeah.
Adrian Blue and all that stuff, I really enjoyed that. So
Yeah. In Kleist Park, I just described the feeling of yeah, driving with the subway to that station and
mm,
going through the streets with headphones on and
right.
yeah, just feeling like Bowie somehow. It doesn't sound like Bowie. And there's another Bowie reference. If you like him,
Yeah, you mentioned, yeah.
I listened to Black Star when
Oh,
it came out,
the last album, yeah,
the last album, and I
yeah,
it was the same thing. I didn't get it when it came out, so
yeah,
I just put it aside, and then I saw an analysis about the song, and I on YouTube, and I watched it, and I thought, wow, there's so much in it. And then I listened to the song several times. It's about 10 minutes, you know. It's a really long track.
mm,
And this one is so crazy and so good, so well written by a man who knows he's going to leave this planet in
yeah,
the next months. And the whole album is written with this knowing, and you feel this.
mm,
And Black Star, I think, is one of his best works
yeah.
ever.
I believe so. For me, it's the same thing. When I listened to the album, it was a little strange for me. No, there's this jazz band playing, which I think they were from
Yeah,
New York,
yeah.
and I listened, but I couldn't get it. I didn't get the point. But then when I tried to go to the details and why he did this and why he did the other thing,
Mhm.
and then I pay more attention. Like listening to Elaine, the same thing. If you just listen, it's not enough. You gotta go song by song, and you know it's a great album. Not for everybody, because some people
Yes, I
they
think
will
so.
say, it's horrible. I don't like
Yeah,
this music.
yeah.
It's
And I
pains me.
understand
It
that.
bothers me. Like
Yes,
I feel not comfortable listening to it for some
yeah.
reason. I don't know. For me, it took a while, but now, like you said,
Yeah, and this is so you were asking if traveling has an influence.
yeah,
Also, traveling into music has an influence. And after I heard Black Star and
mm,
I heard it several times and I got into it,
mm,
it triggered something in me and I had to go to the keyboard and
mm,
write whatever came out of me. And this was Afterglow, the track Afterglow. It doesn't sound like Bowie at all. So
right,
I'm not
yeah,
Bowie, but it came from Black Star.
mm,
However,
right. Mm.
yeah,
So when you are composing and how do you decide which piece particularly fits more into the Elaine's music and your solo project? When you
yeah,
say this song is more like leans more to this project and
it's It's clear
Or
from the
it's
beginning.
just electronics. There is too much electronic means it's
No, it's clear from the beginning.
yeah.
I I just sit down and say I want to write a song for Elaine now.
Hmm.
And then I'll do it. It's
Hmm.
it's important to. We were just talking about how it's going on with Elaine. What's the next release we could
Yeah.
do? I was
Yeah.
talking
Was
to Marcus. I met him the other day,
hmm.
and I said it's important to me to know a topic we are writing around, and it's not about the style or the genre we go more into because Elaine is Elaine, and it will always sound like Elaine.
Right.
Um, but what are we going to sing about? What are we going to talk about in that next step we do with the band? So yeah, we have to figure that out, I think, before I can start another Elaine
Uh,
song.
okay. Yeah, I've been watching there. I wish there were more videos available from Elaine to tell you the truth. It's not that many that I can, you know,
Yeah.
you guys don't do too many videos that I
Yeah, that's
not
right. I still have one in my drawer
mm,
for Aura, for a
okay.
piano-based,
It's yeah.
and it was a huge effort to. I built a large miniature of an island
Mm,
with a drone flying over it
okay.
and stuff like that, but it never was released. Maybe someday.
Yeah.
Well, the point is we were looking for a staircase where I can go down and sing my part, but we never found that staircase. I wanted an abandoned place or something like that, and you can't simply go into old houses that are abandoned and make a video there. So you have
Mm,
to ask for permission, but then there's no owner, or you have to take the risk and go in there and
mm.
get out in handcuffs.
Maybe
Oh,
an old church or something. I don't know.
yeah, maybe
Could be.
something like that. But it's already almost,
Mm.
well, 10 years ago that we started with the video. So all my bandmates will look 10 years younger than me now. I don't know, but maybe that's
Yeah.
a special charm.
No, I mean there are a lot. There are not too. I wish there were a lot of videos because it's not for lack of imagination. You guys don't do too musical videos.
No, it's mostly yeah, it's a long creative process and you have to decide
Mm,
where to put your time in. And the music videos we released in the early years of the band,
yeah.
which were like Paperboat and Silver Sky,
Mm,
Silver Kite. This one was a very um yeah, Marcus made this one and there was much work in it, and you can see it. We traveled to the North Sea for some of the
mm.
shots, and it was very expensive for him to make that video. And yeah, it takes time, and
Right.
you can just put your time into one project at once. So we have to decide. We make a video. The videos back then had, I don't know, 70,000 views or something, maybe
Mm,
80,000, I don't know.
yeah. Yeah.
And today's videos have like 1,000 or so.
Yeah.
So, do you really reach so many people with it? And
Yeah.
is this the best, um, yeah, invest of time you can do? Because some of our songs have millions of plays, and this is the way we decide to go. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, music is changing every day. Now, some people say it's like music is just a marketing tool to sell tickets now
Yes.
nowadays.
Yeah. 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 I know that. I know that argument.
Yeah, so are you composing? Are you creating music on a daily basis, Nico? Are you doing?
No, not a daily basis. I work. I have a
Mm,
full-time job,
mm,
and I mostly compose in the evening, not every day
mm.
or on the weekends. Yes.
And you're going to present your project on stage some
Yes.
time in June, right? You're gonna do
Hmm.
something live?
I'm sorry.
It's all right.
Something in the throat. Maybe you can repeat the question, and I
Yeah, yeah. No, I was gonna
I
say,
try not to die.
you're going to present your project on stage.
Yes, right. Two words in Japanese. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's in June, June the 6th in Leipzig. It's around the Wave Gothic Treffen. This is one
Oh,
of maybe the largest
yeah. It's like
Gothic meeting
almost three,
in
4 days.
Europe.
Hundreds,
Yes,
maybe 100 bands or 100 and many
it's
bands.
huge. It's huge.
Yeah.
And one of those bands is Two Words in Japanese, and we will play live there. And we, that's
Oh.
um, me, and I asked a friend of mine,
Hmm.
Luna, who helped us for Elaine for many years on the merchandising stand.
Hmm.
And she is a brilliant singer. And I asked her, would you like to sing some of the songs with me on stage? And she
Oh.
said yes, she'd like to do that. And yeah, it's a premiere for us,
Wow.
and we'll do that.
Yeah.
And I have another thing. I think I made some individual t-shirts
Oh.
just for the gig in Leipzig. So they
Oh,
will
that's a
be
nice. Yeah. Beautiful.
limited until
It's
June, and then they're
artifact.
gone forever. Yes, it's an artifact for everyone who likes it.
Yeah. Are those available in Bandcamp? Where are those available?
No, I have an own spreadshirt shop.
Oh, okay. Is that
Yeah.
the you go to towardsinjapanese.com? Is that from
Yeah, you
there?
can go there, and there's a link to the shop. Yes.
Oh, okay. All
So
right.
yeah.
Sounds good to me. Yeah. So there's so much stuff that we can talk about, Nico,
Yes.
because that you guys look like I said, when I listened to Ghost Kitchen, I saw Bianca's photo and I saw Nico's, and I mean, I can tell Nico is not an 18-year-old boy, you know. So there has to be a big, you know, music career behind that album,
Mhm.
because you know, if we say two words in Japanese, and I don't see that discography like a long discography for so many years, it's something new that came up, but I could tell and just by the music, the way it's created and the sounds, this is not some new guy that just stepped in music. You know, there had to be something behind it,
Yeah.
and that's when I discovered everything you have done so far, and
That's so great.
yeah, it's like I really enjoyed the music. I don't know. I like Ghost Kitchen, but Elaine is totally different. It's not, there are some things that they might be similar, some sounds that you could tell that, but it's so totally different story for you, I guess. So
Yes.
after this, are you planning to do more shows, live shows? So this is it for you for
Oh,
now.
um, depends on how it works.
Hmm.
So I planned a video show for that concert
So you're
because
gonna have like a background.
yes,
Okay.
yes, I will play visual fitting visual effects. It's more like music videos that are playing,
Right.
especially for the gig.
Hmm.
And I will reuse some of the videos you already know, and I've made some new ones
Hmm.
for it. And yeah, because I think there's one guy on stage with a keyboard or two keyboards and a microphone and maybe a laptop, and this is it. And then there's a female singer for some of the songs. There's not so much happening on stage, and I don't want the eye to get bored. So I think I need a huge projection of images in the
Hmm.
background, so everybody can decide: do I want to look what the musicians are doing on stage, or do I want to be entertained, like in a cinema, and just get the audio
Right.
as
Hmm.
yeah, as the soundtrack to that visuals.
Yeah. Also, if you're gonna be singing, I guess your vocal
Yes.
performance and the lyric style changes. I mean, I guess it's very significant between the band and your solo project. The way you sing, and it's more like a clean sound with
Yeah.
Elaine. The way you sing and your musical project is totally different. The way you sing,
Yeah, I like to distort
yeah,
vocals
distorted.
or put
Yeah.
major effects on the vocals and experiment more with it.
Yeah.
Um, you can't do so much like that in Elaine because yeah, we have a huge audience there,
Mm.
and they grew up with us, and you want to somehow you want to give them yeah a reward for being there such a long time, and you can't do something too
Right.
different from the past. So every one of us has his or her side projects, and this is where we can play
Yeah.
whatever we want, and
Yeah.
we do that.
Yeah. Nico has a very wide, I guess, wide uh, musical taste. I really enjoy what there's many common artists that I've followed that he mentioned that I like. So it would be great if he keeps going with this towards in Japanese project because it's something that I enjoyed. So
Very
it,
happy to hear that.
yeah, I really enjoyed that, and well. Hopefully, maybe in a couple of years there will be another album to another from.
I'm pretty sure there will be
Yeah.
because
Are you keeping? You're gonna be publishing more singles just for now, or?
yeah, we with Elaine when we released the Black Veil album, this was
Mm,
2022.
right.
We had almost all of the songs released as singles
Mm-hmm.
before that release date, and this is because we said, hey, we need to motivate ourselves now because
Mm,
we always wrote albums, and you need to
right.
have those 8 till 18 songs, I don't know, um, together and have
Mm,
them mixed and have them produced and have them pressed on a CD and have the artworks done. And then you get the reaction of your listeners.
mm,
And this is a very long distance to keep yourself motivated to finish that project. So we
mm,
said, why not do it, make it different this time and release, sorry, and release run one track after the other
mm-hmm.
without knowing what track number four will be like. So
Mm,
this is because of this, Black Whale sounds so very different in sounds
right.
because the songs were created separately, but in the end, they all make a mixture that sounds um, they fit together somehow. I can't describe why, but somehow it always works out that they fit together, and you always find the leitmotif that is in those songs, and it's
Mm,
like magic. We can't do anything about it. It just happens. And this is the way I work with two words in Japanese now too, because I just want to make songs.
mm,
And when there are enough songs together with where I can see they fit in a certain way, and they have a certain sound or atmosphere, and then I can do some more in this style and make an album out of that.
mm,
And this is very nice way of working for an artist. It's
mm.
maybe a little bit confusing for the listener, but you can survive that, I
Yeah,
think.
sure. Of course we can. Of
So
course
the
we can.
next project I have is another collaboration
Okay.
with a singer I saw live some time
Mm,
ago. Her name is Sherazade, and she yeah, from that moment she stepped on stage, I was completely drawn in her sound and her energy, and that really impressed me. And I knew I had to work with her at some point, so
okay.
I contacted her and asked, "Hey, um, I hope it doesn't sound creepy, but would you like to? Would you be interested in making a cooperation, a collaboration?" And
Right.
yeah, we wrote a little bit, and we have the same. Um, Style at some point, and yeah, we found a topic that's interesting for both of us. And I just yesterday she sent me the vocal stems, and they
Okay.
are incredible. I love it
Really? So I'll be looking
from the
forward
first time. Yeah.
listening to
So
it
let's
then.
see. I don't know. Maybe after the concert, then this will be the next single.
Yeah.
Now it's Get Alive with Kite. So myself,
Yeah.
and and the next one will be the one with
Yeah.
Sherazade.
Okay. So that's very interesting. I will be following that and follow you on
I'm happy.
Instagram, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
Instagram, on
okay.
Facebook, I have
Yeah.
an account too, but
Yeah.
all the other platforms I do not follow. It's too much
Yeah, I
work
know.
and
I know. It's too much work.
yeah.
So I will go to twowordsinjapanese.com. That's the
There you
best.
can find anything you
You
need,
can find
any link.
anything. Yeah,
Yeah,
from there you click everywhere if you want. You can
right.
also go the usual places, Spotify, or Apple, Amazon Music. If you want to Apple Music, you can listen to
Yeah.
the discography. Elaine's and Nico.
Elaine is Elaine uh
Spotify.
sorry?
No, I was listening on Spotify to
Ah, on
all your
Spotify.
discography. The
Yeah.
quality, the sound quality is not as great on Spotify, but you know,
Yeah,
usually
we
in
should be on Tidal
Tidal,
actually.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I had Tidal. I was paying for it. Then I stopped paying, and now I don't have Tidal anymore. So
Uh,
I'll have to spend some money to listen. Get better quality sound from them.
yeah, we like to release on Bandcamp. This is the
Yeah,
platform where the artist, yeah, gets the most of the share. It's
yeah,
much more than you get from Spotify or Apple Music or YouTube.
yeah,
So Bandcamp is the most fair platform,
yeah. Talking about
and you
talking about
get good sound quality too. You can choose which quality
yeah.
you'd
You
like to
got
listen
some
to.
merchandise there, also T-shirts and hoodies.
Yeah, we have, yeah, the t-shirts we have are in our spread shop because they print it on demand. We don't like to
Mm,
have shirts lying around here and
right.
getting old and
Yeah, yeah.
destroying nature. No, we print them on demand, and this is what they do, and
Mm-hmm.
they do it if you order there. But merchandising, you can find the CDs we have
Okay.
for Elaine or for two words in Japanese. They are all
Okay.
there.
They are there. Everything is there, guys. So check them out. It's something for everybody. Because if you listen to Elaine's discography, there is so much in there that you're gonna enjoy some records more than others. It's impossible to give them. It's not 100% so great that you can. No, they
Oh,
are
well,
great albums, great music. You cannot.
thank you.
If they ask me, which one is the best album of all of them, I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I just whatever I listen the most, maybe this week and next week I'll be listening to a different album of theirs, and it will be the best one at that time. So, but Black Veil is the latest one that I listened to, the one they
Mhm.
published in 2022, and the one that I recognize more songs that I remember. That it doesn't mean it's the best, but it's the one that I listen the most. There are songs from Arcane that I like, Magdalena. There are so many. I don't know. So go over, just take a look at their
Yeah,
discography, and
come
then
over.
come over. You'll be a fan after. It won't take that long for you to become a fan of this band, Elaine. And then towards in Japanese, that's my, something that caught my attention, and that's how I got to get the interview with Nico. It's somebody that, like I said, he's very intelligent guy. He's a very intelligent guy. He makes great music, and he's very talented. I can tell. So
Thank
whatever
you,
he
Jose.
does in music is for me is he's not the he's not a I was gonna say a friend now, but it's not a friend.
Oh,
It's an
we
imaginary friend
we
right
come
now.
close to being
It's an
friends now.
imaginary friend. I hope maybe a day I can, meet him. Maybe I could stop by Bianca's house, and then I'll travel and see
Whenever you
Nico.
are here,
See Nico after that.
let me know. Let me know. We go drink a Kölsch here.
Yeah. So and maybe I find him someday in the Canary Islands again,
Yeah,
traveling because he loves traveling. I think goes
it's
to
so
Ireland
beautiful.
and yeah. So
Yes,
that's where you get a lot of inspiration from your travels, right?
I do.
You do, and from architecture and just by I guess. Do you do a lot of walk? Do you walk a lot, Nico? Do you enjoy like not hiking? Well, I don't know if hiking if it's something that you do, but do you enjoy this travel, walking and
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
something
I even like hiking, but it's not very. Yeah, we don't have many mountains here. But
it's flat
whenever
surface.
I'm, yeah, when I'm in southern Germany, like Bavaria or in
Mm,
Austria, in the
yes.
Alps, I love to go out for hiking and enjoying the nature there.
Mm.
But also here in the city, I just put on my headphones and yeah, take some roads and go here or go there and drink a coffee and walk on.
Are you into sports at all? I don't think you must be. Are you into
I
sports?
should be more.
Mm,
I'm I have a gym
mm,
abonnement.
mm.
What is it? No, it's not abonnement. What is it in English?
I
Just let
have
me
no,
see.
I have no idea.
Ah, subscribe. No, I'm subscribed in the gym.
Ah, subscribe. Ah, you're
So
subscribed. Okay.
when
Yeah.
I'm subscribed, that doesn't mean I go there, but it's just for the conscious, for the bad conscious.
Yeah, but you
Yes.
don't follow soccer or any those
Oh, this is
Germans.
what you mean. I thought if
No,
I'm
no, no,
into
that
sports
too. But
myself.
I was thinking like not
Not too
nothing like that.
much. Not too much.
You're
No,
not into
it's
that.
not so much
Not so much.
as I should because it's a very good small talk topic.
Uh,
If you like to get connected to people, it's almost sports and soccer here in Germany.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
here in Cologne we have the FC,
Yeah,
Erste
yeah,
FC
yeah,
Köln,
yeah.
and I even have such a little goat on my window screen in the car,
Oh,
and
okay.
on my rear view mirror,
Uh,
and the goat is from the FC Köln.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm not really watching the matches, but I can't say it too loud here because
Right.
they don't like me as a neighbor anymore.
Oh no, you're not behaving. You're not. No, you're too
No, no.
loud. No, you're not too loud
No, because I don't like soccer.
because you don't like soccer. Just
Yeah,
pretend that
yeah.
you like.
Yeah, this is what I do with the little goat on my
Yeah, you can
uh,
buy a T-shirt or
rearview
something.
mirror. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the
Well,
mascot from the team from Cologne. Yes.
Cologne. Yeah. Well, Nico, I thank you so much for being here today. It's
Thank you,
we'll
Jose.
be talking for hours, but I had so many questions, but the interview will be like hours long. So
It was a
maybe
long time and I enjoyed every minute of it. Thank you
so
very much.
if we have a chance, we'll talk again. Maybe when you publish another album or something that
Yeah, you're welcome.
I will get in touch with you again if you want to talk to me.
Very welcome.
If not, well, you know.
If not,
If not, then get a life.
get alive.
Get a
Get alive.
life.
No,
Get
I
a life.
think I will be happy to talk to you again sometime.
All right, Nico.
Thank you
Thanks.
very much for
Thank you
taking the
so much. And
time and for getting so deeply into the music.
you know,
I was very impressed in which short time you got all that information and all those great questions. Thank you so much.
yeah, I had more, but I didn't want to, give you a headache. So just leave it
I'm
for
gonna
next
get
time.
something food now.
Yeah, no, I hear your intestines. They're making some kind of noise. It's
Yes,
not your music. It's
it's
something different.
pretty noisy here,
Very
and
noisy. It's
right,
the
it's my
it's the,
stomach.
the stomach. Thank you so much, guys. Take a
Thank
look
you.
at Elaine and Two Words in Japanese. Let me know if you like it. If you like it, let me know.
See
Enjoy.
you.
Take care of yourself, my friend.
You too. Thank you, Jose. Bye bye.
Bye.